ICAAR as a whole, if you're a new agent, you come in, you're a member of our association, you go through orientation, you get settled where you can actually be part of a community of real estate agents and get to know your coworkers and get comfortable and get your feet wet in the real estate. For a veteran agent, you're going to be leaning on some of the new classes that are coming out from new things that have changed through the laws. Or you're just going to volunteer and help out and lead the way from your experience. I think that's the biggest key, is be able to give back because of your education and your experience throughout the years as a veteran agent to help others.
When we started, we had what was called a black book. It was like an 8x10 notebook, and it was loose leaf. And every week, the Board of Realtors would send you the inserts, so you knew every listing that came through because you looked at it and put it into the proper place, if it was a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom. And so that was, you really knew the product back then. I was president in 1990, and at that time we were just trying to switch over from that black book to a computerized printed book. And that we didn't have, we didn't use computers at that time, but there was a big dispute. Geez, can we really do this? A lot of people were resisting it. So it was quite an effort. Carla Davis was active at the time as our EO, and she was really instrumental in helping us get through that. And the overall progress was tremendous. I think people feared it more than they should have, but we ended up going to the printed book. And then obviously we went to the computer system later on in my career, which is where we're at today.
Having been president twice, in 1995, and then in 2013, I noticed some similarities and I noticed some big differences. I'd say the one issue that we worked on during both were trying to combine the Iowa City Association and the Cedar Rapids Association into one. Fast forward to 2021, we're still working on that. But I also think we made great strides between then and now in our facility. I mean, we were in a very small place that we rented. By the time 2013 came along, we had this beautiful facility out in Coralville, and I mean, it rivals any across the state of Iowa. And probably the biggest thing that I've enjoyed is the educational opportunity, because back in 95, you almost had to travel to take classes. And classes are necessary. I mean, we're licensed. So now you can almost get every class that you need, whether it's the required classes or any other classes, right here in Coralville. And I'd say those kind of things are the best things that happen.
So I sold real estate as an associate realtor, is what they called it back then, for about 4 years. And in 1979, Jackie and I decided to start our own company. Well, this was a pretty big step. So we decided we had better get some advice. So we consulted with our lawyer, our attorney, our accountant, and our banker, all of whom were men. And basically, they said, in a little more polite terms than this, but basically they said, you're not going to make it because you don't have a man in your company. Well, this just infuriated us and made us even more determined to do well. And so we started with just the two of us in a shabby little rented office from Frida Hieronymus, and we worked really hard. And things went pretty well. And so then we went on and hired some more people, and things continued to progress. And we were very happy that we had done this, because this was the 70s, and in the 70s, women couldn't even get a mortgage unless either their husband or their father signed on with them. So things have obviously changed a lot since those days, but it was a challenge to start out as the first female-owned real estate office in Iowa City. I was president of ICAAR from 1996 to 1997. And I had a very good year. In fact, that year, one of the highlights was that we received a Volunteer Appreciation Award from Governor Terry Branstad for our work on the student house. Now, the student house was a house that was constructed by students from Iowa City High School and West High School and some of the surrounding high schools. We helped to pay the salary of the teacher who supervised them. We bought tools for the students to use, and we gave scholarships. And every year we had a parent-teacher awards banquet, and a lot of these kids really thrived under this because not all children want to go to college or should go to college, and this gave some of these vocational kids a chance to really utilize their talents. And so we were doing it for the students, but the governor's office did recognize us, and so myself and Barbara Grohe, who was the superintendent of schools at the time, and Carla Davis, who was the executive officer of ICAAR, we went to Cedar Rapids and met Terry Branstad. And here is a picture of Terry Branstad and me back when his hair was black and mine was red instead of the white hair we have today, accepting that award. And that award, I believe, still hangs in the office at ICAAR.
What I learned was that by being on the board, you became a better realtor because you were thinking about the association as a whole, and you were thinking about how individual realtors behaved and how our association together behaved. And so it was a wonderful thing. Getting into this line of work was more than work. It was a joy. It was a joy. If you serve on the board, you understand the board. You understand the association better. You know what the needs are because you're part of the association, and making that contribution, nobody can ever take it away from you.
Coming in as the next president for this 101 year, I think it's cool to really take hold of the 100 years and what that embodies, and say, okay, now we've got this huge milestone, right? So let's take it to the next huge milestone. And this is step one, and looking back at those 100 years and what has been great and what has been successful and where we are, Mark saying in time, I'm excited to take the greatness that we have, keep that going. What I'm also excited about is to look towards the future and look towards what's coming down the pike as best we can. Selling homes is fun, and we all love to do it. That's why we got in the business. But there's a bigger part of just selling homes. I mean, this is dealing with people's lives in the palm of your hands in many cases. And so working towards boosting our membership to recognize those things, to say, you're not just a realtor. That's one part of who you are and what you do. But you're Tom Weber, you're XYZ person. You have other aspects about you and about your life that make you who you are and why your clients are attracted to you. So honing in on those strengths and honing in on what makes that person a great person who happens to be a realtor to help those clients navigate that real estate journey. And I think what the association does great already is provides great education, and really leaning in on kind of those strength building and leadership kind of personality type growth oriented ideas is going to strengthen our realtor base. I think with the general public looking at our association and saying, wow, they've been around for 100 years. They've done a lot. And this association is here to stay, and we're not going anywhere, and we're only getting better.